WICCI, that is the Women's Indian Chamber of um, Commerce and Industry. It is a very prestigious organization which we help in empowering women not only in India but around the globe. So we have multiple councils which work in the different departments of social work, and we've been honored to manage and take care of the anti-domestic council in the Maharashtra state. Our president is Mrs. Rashmi Mishra, who is the founder of Indian Inspiring Women, and she has done excellent work in all the departments of social work in regards to empowering women, not just in India but around the globe. And we are honored to have you, Rashmi ji. And we have our very talented and very empowering Vice President, Mrs. Akanksha, who is here with us. She is the vice president of WICCI, and we are total of 22 members who handle this department of anti-domestic violence in Maharashtra. So we are like all talented ladies who take care of different abuses that we come across, and we try and manage to handle the situation as per as and when the cases comes to us. And I'm thankful for all the council members who have joined today, and I welcome all the honorable guests on the today's evening show that we have. So moving forward, talking about domestic violence, it's been a very you can say a very less spoken topic. Not everyone would like to come ahead and talk and discuss about this very strong thing that it is something that we face every day, not just women but of course men as well. Violence is basically not just physical. It can be a emotional baggage, it can be a emotional torture, it can be a spiritual abuse that is done, a financial abuse that is done. But not everyone would have that guts, or we living in India, we do not have that much open mind or things that we can come ahead and speak about the same. So that's the reason why we are here. We help people speak out and get their rights and what they deserve. So moving ahead, I would like to request Akanksha ji to please play the video of our founder herself. She would like to welcome all our guests and also say a few words about our organization.
On it.
Namaste, sisters and brothers. I want to thank you, everyone at the Maharashtra Council of the Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the sector of.
I hope it is audible to everybody.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Anti-domestic abuse, and the work that my sisters Rashmi, Akanksha and all the 22 council members have been doing ever since the formation of this council, and really reaching out into the community and supporting our sisters and raising voices and creating a collective consciousness around how we as a society have to tackle this issue together. And I am so grateful to our eminent speakers here today. We have advocates, psychologists, sisters and brothers. It's not just a women's issue, it is a societal issue. And in recognition of that it concerns us all as a society, all of you have come together for this webinar. I'm really so grateful from the Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you all so much for doing that, what all you're doing. Every endeavor counts, every effort counts, and we never know to which person we are extending a hand of hope and a healing hand as well of support, with some thoughts that might be shared, some experiences that might be shared. So thank you so much for also empowering other people to speak about these, for creating.
Thank you so much, Akanksha. That was a lovely message by our founder herself. And moving ahead, I would just like to highlight this point that by the National Legal Services Authority of India, around 370, 748 cases were registered last year in the anti-domestic cases that I'm only talking about the Indian part of it. And as we see, around 88 percentage of domestic violence cases are being there, but only of those 8% are actually people come and report it. So moving ahead, I would we have our esteemed guest who would really like to highlight how Indian legal system is really going to be working and helping the victims, and what are the laws and what are the ways by which we can really come ahead and talk about it and resolve the same. So let me welcome Advocate Omkar Paranspe. He is an advocate working in Mumbai High Court. He's also into this teaching profession, and he's been practicing not just in the family matters but also in the civil and criminal litigations that we see. He is also have the reported judgments in Maharashtra law general on the issue of family law. So, welcome, Advocate Omkar. I would hand it over to you, and thank you so much for coming and attending our show.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon to all. So, as the founder had said, the domestic violence is not issue relating to women; it's an issue relating to the society. So, the domestic violence is undoubtedly a human right issue and serious deterrent to the development. Presently, where the woman is subjected to the cruelty by her husband or the relatives, it is the offense under Section 498A of the IPC that we all know, that is cruelty, or the cruelty which has been caused due to the dowry, demand of dowry. The civil law does not, however, address this phenomenon in its entity. So, what should we do? That was the question before the parliament and legislature. It is therefore proposed to enact a law keeping in view the rights, the fundamental rights guaranteed under Article 14, 15, and 21 of our Constitution, to provide remedy under civil law, which is intended to protect the woman from being victimized of the domestic violence and to prevent occurrence of domestic violence in the society. And hence, the Indian legislature has formed the law which is named as the Protection of Women from Domestic Act 2005. So, as consider what exactly the domestic violence is. It is not just a physical harm or mental harm. Let us consider what exactly domestic violence is. It is the harm or injury to the health or to the safety, whether it is a mental or physical, of an aggrieved person, or trends to do so, and includes causing physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal and emotional abuse, or economical abuse. So there are various thinkings whether should I approach to the court of law or to the probation officer or to the magistrate as regards to the domestic violence is concerned. So it is not only the verbal abuse or the physical abuse. The domestic violence can be caused due to the mental abuse as well as mental harassment, sexual harassment, and economical abuse. Even when, in case a husband or his family dispose the household effects or alienate any asset, whether it is movable or immovable, valuable shares, securities, bond, and like other property in which the aggrieved person has interest or is entitled to use virtue of domestic relationship, or which may reasonably require by aggrieved person or her children, or any stridhan or any other property jointly or separately held by the aggrieved person. So it is not the case of violence only. अगर किसी पति के द्वारा और उसके फैमिली के द्वारा, even if they dispose their movable or immovable property which is of very useful of a woman who is being the victim of domestic violence, in that case also she can go to the magistrate and ask for the reliefs as regards to the property or any other movable or immovable valuable things are concerned. Even the magistrate may order to prohibit or to restrict or continuing the access to resource or facilitate which aggrieved person is entitled to use, enjoy by virtue of domestic relation including the access to the shared household. Even if you have been refused to access to your shared household. What is the shared household? The shared household means the house in which the husband and wife resides together, who comes under the same roof for their domestic relationships. If the husband throws away the wife from the domestic house, the wife could approach to the magistrate or the probation officer as regards to her rights are concerned in relation to the domestic house. Now, who is the aggrieved person? The definition which has been given in the Domestic Violence Act, that aggrieved person means any woman who is or has been in a domestic relationship with the respondent. Respondent means here the act of a domestic violence by the respondent. So this definition is very important. The starting words of the definition are the aggrieved person means any woman. I will come to this word that aggrieved person means any woman later on, because when the act was enacted, this act was specifically for the purpose of domestic violence which has been committed against women. That's why this definition include any aggrieved person means any woman who was residing in a shared household with husband or his relatives. Now, what is the domestic relationship? Because in case of domestic violence, the aggrieved person has to establish the fact that she was in a domestic relation with the respondents. That domestic relation means a relationship between the two persons, not necessarily husband and wife. That relation between the two persons who live or have at any point lived together in a shared household when they are related or when they are so that is called as a domestic relationship. Now coming to the grievances, or where the aggrieved person can file any application or put their grievances. Now the aggrieved person can file her grievances before the protection officer. There is an officer empowered under the act to whom an aggrieved person can approach to seek relief as regards to the domestic violence is concerned. Now, aggrieved person or a protection officer to whom she has approached, or any other person on behalf of the aggrieved person, it can be advocate as well, may present an application to the magistrate seeking one or more reliefs under this act, provided that before passing any order on such application, the magistrate shall take into consideration any domestic incident report received by him from the protection officer or the service provider. There are various incidences where a woman who has no knowledge that where should I approach or put my grievances as regards to domestic violence is concerned, she is hesitant to approach the court of law because she has to maintain her relation with the husband as well as with the family members. So she can approach to the protection officer, or she can approach to some advocate, or she can file a direct application before the magistrate as regards to the reliefs or the grievances what she has to put in case of domestic violence. Now, this act cover all women who may, under sister, wife, widow, or parents living in a shared household. The relation may be of nature of marriage or adoption. In adoption, relationship with the family members living together as a joint family are also included. So it is not necessary that the domestic violence has to be caused under the relation of husband are in relation as a husband and wife. It is not necessary. Even in case of adoption, a sister or any other woman, she can also file a case as regards to the domestic violence is concerned. Now, however, no female relative of a husband or the male partner can file a complaint against wife. So if a mother-in-law wants to file a complaint against her daughter-in-law, she cannot file direct complaint as regards to the domestic violence is concerned. So what is the remedy? In that case, the mother-in-law cannot file an application against her daughter-in-law but she can file an application against the daughter-in-law for the abating her son to commit violence against her. If the daughter-in-law forces her husband to commit a domestic violence against his mother, that is her mother-in-law, in that case, a mother-in-law can lodge a complaint or file a case against daughter-in-law before the competent court of law. Then who can file complaint? Any woman who is alleged to have been subjected to any act of domestic violence by the offender or any other person may file a complaint on her behalf. A child is also entitled to relief under the Domestic Violence Act. The mother of such child can make an application on her behalf of minor child. In case where the mother makes an application to the court for herself, the child can also add it as an applicant. So it is the basic provision of law that the child below 18 years of age, so he has to be represented by the natural guardian or through father or mother. So in case of a minor child, the mother can also file application on behalf of the child in case of domestic violence.
Sir, in case of the girls who face violence, or they are the victims in the companies, offices, they don't have any place to go to talk to. So what is your advice in that context?
That will not come under the definition of Domestic Violence Act.
Oh,
Yeah.
So officer, yes. So domestic violence has to be
in the house or in the same panel, is it? So what your
under
voice
the
is?
domestic relationship. Hello.
Okay.
Yes. So
So your voice is
company if a boss is abusing. Yes. Now am I audible?
yes.
Yes. So in case of employment, she has to file a complaint against, that will be treated in a different way.
Okay.
Yes. Now,
what about? Can I ask a question, please?
Can take questions at last, at the end of the program.
yes.
End of the
We can take few, we can take few questions at the
Okay.
end of the program. Or maybe you guys can just leave it in the chat box. Purva will
thank
start
you.
taking it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Purva, please go ahead.
Yes.
Now,
Omkar sir
as
was
regards,
something.
yes. So as regards to the different
Sir, I think you have
types of order or the release.
Is he still there?
Mm,
I think there is some
yeah,
internet issue.
there's some network issue.
Yes. Am I
Yeah,
audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So as regards to different reliefs are concerned, what a woman can seek before the honorable court are the protection order. So now what is the protection order? That is the basic order what she can ask before the magistrate after filing the application under the provisions of domestic violence law. That the magistrate may, after giving aggrieved person, the respondent, an opportunity of being heard, on being prima facie satisfied that the domestic violence has taken place or is likely to take place, pass a protection order in favor of the aggrieved person. See, there are many various cases or many false complaints which have been filed against the husband or its relative as regards to the domestic violence is concerned. So what basic thing the magistrate has to do, that magistrate has to get satisfied firstly that yes, there was an incident of domestic violence. Yes, there will be an incident of domestic violence, and after being heard to the both the parties, then the magistrate pass necessary orders restraining the respondents from committing any act of domestic violence, aiding or abating the commission of the act of the domestic violence, alienating any assets, operation of bank lockers, bank accounts, or any accounts held enjoyed by both the parties jointly or by aggrieved person, and the respondent or singly by the respondent, including her stridhan, any other property,
held either jointly by the parties or separately by them. So in this case, the protection order has been passed against the respondent not only in the case of causing domestic violence, but also in case of alienating or disposing of the property, which will be the beneficial for the person who has filed the case or for the benefit of the child,
Hmm.
which he will be entitled for. Now there is also provision of residence order. In case where the wife has been thrown away from her residential household, what is the remedy available to her? Where she can stay? Then in that case, the honorable court can pass an order against the respondent, restraining the respondent from disposing or in any manner disbursing with the possession of that household premises, directing the respondent to remove himself from the shared household. It is not only the case that if the respondent has caused domestic violence, the magistrate has power to remove himself from the shared household as well. The restraining the respondent or any other relatives from entering any portion of the shared household in which the aggrieved person resides. These are the
Okay.
reliefs as regards to the residence order is passed. There is
No, but
also
sir,
yes,
one question, because there are many such things that we see, but it takes a long due time, like the protection orders, like you said, or the
yes,
order regarding the house where a female can actually go and stay, and the husband himself is been not staying in the house. But
yes.
till that longer time of period, like what we have, do we have any other option?
No, what is the procedure? After filing the complaint before the magistrate, there are interim applications. So these are
Okay.
the release which you sought at the end of the passing of the degree. At the time you seek for the interim relief, that till hearing and final disposal of the case, the respondent be restrained from causing domestic violence. He should be restrained from alienating with the property. So
Okay.
once the
Okay.
interim order has been passed after filing the application, so it may
Mm-hmm.
take few years, like 2 to 5 years or 10 years. We cannot predict that.
Oh
So
my God.
till that time, the respondent has been restricted from causing any act of domestic violence. He has been restricted from alienating or disposing of any property which is for the benefit of the wife as well as for the child.
Okay. Sir, and any ways where, there are many people asking me questions and for you, and also any way that we can contact you, or any way by a person who doesn't have monetary, strength to come and, fight the legal case, or,
Yes.
hesitant to do the same. So are there any ways by which are there any free services given by Indian
Yes.
Council?
For these matrimonial matters, there is a legal aid department in every court.
Okay.
So, any aggrieved person who is not aware of the law, who is not
Mm-hmm.
capable to afford the legal charges, he could approach to the court. There is a legal aid committee in every court, which will
Okay.
definitely help every aggrieved person to file a case
Mhm.
for her rights.
Okay, so that services are free. Like even
Yes,
the lawyers
yes,
will fight for you and
yes,
will give you the same right.
yes, yes.
Okay, all right, sir.
Court will not
So
charge
thank
for
you
this.
so much for highlighting so many issues, because a lot of us, we really don't know what what really there are many such things that you told us, that by which we can actually, women, not just women, men can come ahead and get their rights. Thank you for highlighting so many points to us, sir, and it was honor having you here.
Yes,
It would
thank you.
be great if you just write down about yourself in the text box there, so whoever wants to contact you will definitely
Yes, sure.
contact you. And there's just one question, that if there is a divorce that has been accepted in the foreign country like United Kingdom, but the it will that be accepted in India if it has been filed here? Because that's the question that has been asked to you.
See, there are
If the marriage papers are happened in India, but the divorce is granted in UK,
yes,
will it be accepted in India?
yes, there are 7 reciprocating countries. So there are different countries in which the divorce decree has been passed against the citizen of India or NRI person or the person who has been married in India. So that
Mm-hmm.
decree has been considered valid in India. But apart from
Mm-hmm.
those countries, see, even in case I'll just give an example. I am having a case where the husband and wife who obtained decree at US, but
Mm-hmm.
that decree is not valid or binding in India. So in that case, if you want to file a case for the decree of divorce, you have to file a declaration suit, declaratory suit
In India, in
in
India.
India, stating therein that the decree of divorce passed in US court is valid and binding on the parties.
Okay, okay. So that just the application needs to be submitted in India to
Yes,
show that this has been accepted in UK. So I
exactly.
think that answers our question.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it's the same. It applies in UK as well, Manju. That is what he's trying to say. So and also marital rape, does it also come under domestic like the
No, no,
same?
that will come under the different provisions of IPC. See, there are now the discussion is going on before the Delhi High Court as regards to the marital rape is concerned. Now
Mhm.
the judgment is yet to be
Okay.
declared.
Okay.
That is the issue pending before the Honorable High Court
Itself.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for answering all our questions. And it was great to have you. And also, we would like to go ahead and welcome our second guest. So she has a very, very long data that I have to speak about her. She's a founder. So let me highlight Mrs. Samindra Sawant. Is she here?
Yes, she's there.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you're on
So
mute, I guess.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
great.
see. Hello, ma'am. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the program. So, Mrs. Samindra Sawant, she is a founder and director of Disha Counseling Center. She is also a psychologist. She has her own Mera Man Foundation, which is a regression therapist. She is a transformational growth therapist. She is also RECBT practitioner and also an author, chartered psychologist of British Psychological Society. She has like so much to talk about you here, ma'am. You are a fantastic woman here. She specializes in psychodiagnostics and clinical assessments, and she has considerable experience in child, adult sex, marriage, as well as family psychotherapy, which is like really an intense issue in India. Ma'am has also extensive experience in conducting workshops and also training, and she's worked with various people like students, parents, employees, teachers, and so forth. Ma'am, you are also an honor author of 2 books. We are so honored to have you here, ma'am. Welcome to the show. And please highlight certain points by which how counseling really helps in the victims whom they really can't speak about. How can you highlight those points to us?
Thank you, Purva, for all that lovely, kind introduction. I was listening to Advocate Paranspe, and just when he started speaking, he mentioned something so important. He said that domestic abuse is a human rights issue, and that is a sobering thought indeed. It is not an isolated problem limited to one section of society. It is not a state, national, or even an international problem. But indeed, it is an issue that impacts the whole of humanity, right? So what I would want to do here at this point is let's try and look at it from a slightly more zoomed in perspective. And I want to say here that for most of us, home is our safe space, right? Home is the place where we find comfort, love, solace, and acceptance. Imagine when the home becomes a place of terror and fear, of violence, when our very ideas of safety and security are turned on their head. The psychological impact of that can be devastating and long lasting. The physical impact of domestic abuse is blatantly obvious. You see the scars on the outside. What is less obvious and more covert is, of course, the psychological and the emotional impact of abuse. I'm going to take you all through some of the implications or some of the consequences that abuse has on the women or the victims, if we may use that word. And the first one of them is helplessness and a loss of control. The fact that you're unable to protect yourself from physical hurt creates a deep and lasting sense of helplessness. Often the abuser also intentionally creates this helplessness in the person that he or she is abusing, because that makes him more powerful and gives him more control. Constantly living in an environment of fear makes us very, very vulnerable, fearful, vigilant all the time. The other important impact is a low self worth. The fact that your partner, who should be loving you, cherishing you, is treating you so cruelly, it shatters your self esteem and self belief. Self doubt, self questioning become permanent residents in your head. And you start questioning your own value, you start questioning your own self worth. What is wrong with me that I'm being treated like this? Is a question that victims often ask themselves.
Correct.
Next comes trauma and PTSD, and I'm sure all of you must be familiar with these terms. And I'm sure you would all agree that any experience of violence or physical hurt is a traumatic experience in and of itself. So, victims of abuse experience many symptoms of PTSD, which is post traumatic stress disorder. And one of the most debilitating impacts of this is flashbacks. Flashbacks is you're doing something, you're trying to be normal, and suddenly you have an intense re experiencing, an intense memory of the abuse that comes up, and it just leaves you frozen, right? So that's what we call as flashbacks. Other than that, there can be nightmares. There is what we also call as hyper arousal of the body, which means your heart rate is constantly high. You tend to startle easily. You tend to get scared easily. There are sleep disturbances and many other symptoms. Depression and anxiety, which are deeper psychological conditions, are also commonly seen in women who have been abused. Anxiety can often take form of panic attacks, constant negative thoughts, anxious thoughts, overthinking, and excessive worrying. Then you have, of course, what we know call as trust issues, because trust has been broken at the deepest level. Trusting somebody else becomes very difficult. When you are let down so badly in your most intimate relationship, whom do you trust? So the women tend to be constantly on their guard and find it very difficult to relax in the presence of others. A very, very serious and concerning implication is also thoughts of ending one's life. Suicidal thought is something abused women very often experience. And if they see their situation as being totally hopeless, they may unfortunately at times act upon these thoughts. Other than this, these are the more intense or the more severe implications of abuse that we do see in victims. There could be countless other implications. You tend to constantly worry about your future. You worry about the future of your children. There is a complete lack of motivation, complete absence of joy in anything you do. There is resentment and deep feelings of anger. There is preoccupation at times with thoughts of revenge, getting back at the person. The list could be endless. But let us now think about what are some of these strategies, some steps that we can help encourage with women who are abused in order to deal with this psychological aftermath. First and foremost, one thing I often say is, you don't deserve this. This is something we need to always remind abused women. In fact, we need to encourage them to remind this to themselves all the time. No matter what your behavior has been in the relationship, you do not deserve to be hurt and abused. Nothing justifies the perpetration of violence against another human being. You deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. Arguments, differences, even fights are acceptable and healthy in any relationship, and more so in a marital relationship. But abuse is not, neither physical nor sexual nor emotional. I repeat, nothing ever justifies being abused. The challenge is when abuse is frequent and repeated, many times the women start believing that maybe they deserve it. It is crucial to change this core belief that perhaps they deserve it, or they are at fault, or it's something they are doing that is making the person be abusive.
Correct.
Most important thing. The
Ma'am,
other
I'll just like to interfere,
Sure.
talk, because what I've seen is, like you talk about the PTSD thing also, the cycle is repeated, and I have seen it in victims. I have also gone through the same myself. So it becomes like, there is something that we've been tortured, there is abuse that has been done, and later on we get so much love on a temporary basis that we get, because he hurts us, and then again he loves us so much. So then you try to you kind of think that you are meant for it, because you start loving that particular fake love that is there for 1 or 2 days maybe, and you kind of are waiting for that particular love, and it becomes like, okay, this is happening, it's okay, because eventually he'll love me. So I'm waiting for that day when he again abuses me and again comes back to me and again loves me. So you kind of actually go that intense, and you have trust issues in yourself. You feel mere hi wajah se ho raha hai, that, and that is really haunting. And that, I think, that is there in your mind, like what you say, the flashbacks are forever, and it takes a lot to come ahead and even talk about it, because we are so shameful to even share that with our own parents at sometimes.
Yes.
So actually, ma'am, that this is something dreadful, and right now I'm talking to you, I'm shivering.
I can see
So
that.
I can see that, because it took a lot for me to come ahead and talk about it. It took around 4 years for me to come on the platform and talk about it. I was locked up in the room, and so much things that I have seen, and I'm sure all the victims who go through the same thing, because eventually feel what family will say, what society will say. And today when I'm even talking about it, ma'am, somewhere in the back of my mind I also have people, अरे ये तो देख, ये तो इतना बात कर रही है, मतलब है ना, जरूर इसकी कोई गलती होगी, she must have done something, that's why she's so shameful, she's talking about it to everyone. So that also is a concern in our society which we face every day. So I think you are just on it, ma'am. You're just
Thank you. Thank you so much, Purva, for sharing your experiences with all of us. We are humbled and honored to have the privilege of hearing your story. And one important point that you have raised here is the confusion. When there is violence and then there is so much love, it creates so much confusion. And you also keep telling yourself, maybe this is the last time, maybe it won't happen again. So it's a vicious cycle that we get trapped in, and coming out of that becomes very difficult, which is why I constantly reiterate, you do not deserve this. And this is something that each and every person, and I'm not even going to qualify it by saying a woman or a child or anybody, each and every person needs to know this, that nothing justifies violence against you of any form.
correct, ma'am.
Moving on to the next important point, another important thing to tell or share with women who are being abused is, you are not alone. There are people out there who can help you. You need to reach out and talk about what is happening to you. Please don't keep it a secret. And Purva, it's important that you share that it took you so long to come out with your story. It is not something you need to be ashamed of. If anyone, it is the individual who is abusing you that needs to be ashamed. So seek the help of loved ones, lean on your support system to help you deal with it. And the other thing that's going to help you deal with it is to educate and empower yourself. Know your rights. We just heard Advocate Paranspe talk about how there are a lot of agencies who can help you. There is legal advice available. It is many times available at a nominal or a free of cost manner. So we need to approach the appropriate national and social agencies, the legal agencies, and take what you need to get yourself out of that situation.
Correct,
Most
ma'am.
important is take charge. And this is very challenging and very difficult, because I just spoke about the sense of having no control and the strong feelings of helplessness. The biggest thing to do is to fight that feeling of helplessness. Remember, you need to protect yourself. So once you have armed yourself with all the information, it's time to take action. And yes, this is a big step and calls for courage and willpower. So make sure you feel strong enough and stable enough to set the ball rolling. There will be no turning back after this. But remember, you deserve to be safe and to be happy. Another thing that will help you is to start therapy or counseling. It's another step in your healing and recovery. As I already mentioned, abuse damages and batters you, not just at the physical level, but at your deepest emotional core. You need to heal all these battered and shattered parts of yourself, process the trauma, deal with all the negative emotions and cognitions, so that you truly recover completely. So make sure you give yourself this very important support in your journey to free yourself from abuse. So I'm going to end by saying that, remember, that it takes time to start feeling safe and free again. And there can be times when it all seems overwhelming. But for now, just look at it as one step at a time. After all, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a wonderful, wonderful line that you said. That it
Beautiful.
is just one step that is necessary for us to come ahead and talk, and we are done. There are so many people who are standing for us, who's come ahead and they'll help us in the situation. But it is just the courage that we need, that one step we need to take, and come ahead and talk about this issue. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here and highlighting those wonderful points to us. So we move ahead and call our next guest. So welcome Advocate Gargi Prakash Joshi. She is a Mumbai High Court practicing advocate, and she also practices in all other courts in Mumbai as well. Is Gargi present, ma'am? Can we highlight her? Uh, she
I'm there, but
also she also is a specialist in criminal and matrimonial matters that are there around Maharashtra. She's also been appointed as a counselor for victims in matrimonial and domestic cases, and she's also a legal aid panel for pro bono cases. So there is a lot to talk about here about Ms. Gargi. Can we, Ms. Gargi, I cannot see her video. Is she there online?
Yeah,
yes,
she's
I'm
there.
there, but I can't start my video.
Oh, okay. You need to like, if you can just like stop the video and on again. Can we do that?
I'm trying to, but it's not happening. Start my video, it's not happening.
Okay. So
The ghost is
do
up.
you need some time for the same? Can we?
Yeah, I'll just arrange it. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Can we till then call our next guest then?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
we also have. Do we have Prajakta Sangale?
Yes.
Is she there? Okay.
Yeah, Prajakta is there.
Yes, because our webinar is in association with the college that she's working
WIIT
with.
College. Yeah.
Yeah, VIIT college that is there. So Miss, one second, I'll just yeah, Miss Prajakta Sangle, she's the secretary of Women Empower Cell, which is VIIT College. She's currently pursuing her civil engineering at Vishwakarma Institute of Information and Technology. So she's working, being such young girls. I'm so proud to see that they're working, in this field of empowering women and helping women to find the correct ways. And they have a wonderful team out there. So welcome, Miss Prajakta. And I'll be obliged if you highlight about your work and the social cause that you do.
Yes, sure.
Miss Prajakta, are you there?
Yes. Good evening, one and all present here.
Prajakta, we cannot see your video.
Okay.
Yes, we can see you now.
Yes. Good evening, everyone present over here. I am Ms. Prajakta Sangre, Secretary of Women Empowerment Cell, VIIT, Pune. I'm going to share some glimpse of our history, activities, and events of Women Empowerment Cell, which is WEC. WEC was established in 2017, which is started by Leena Deshpande ma'am, who is the faculty in charge, and Urvi Relekar is the first Women Empowerment Cell president. The objectives of Women Empowerment Cell are to attend and maintain mental and physical health, to achieve technical and professional goals. Women Empowerment Cell, our college students, including boys, thought of establishing a cell that is not only empowering girls, but would also encourage them to do everything they wish of. This led to the foundation of Women Empowerment Cell. The cell has been constantly gaining recognition for its variety and various activities and dedication efforts with the regarding to youth of our country. Now I hand over to you, ma'am, and I hope we'll surely collaborate again. That's all from my side.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prajakta. Yeah, Purva is there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prajakta. And we are really proud that you're working at this age and we see young girls contributing to the society through social cause. I would like to hand it over to Advocate Gargi Joshi now. She will highlight certain points for us. Welcome, Ms. Gargi.
Hello, everyone. I'm really sorry my video was not available. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, you are audible. Clear.
So here we are all to talk about the domestic violence, which is when caused to any person, I would say, not just women, men, children, anyone. So what is basically domestic violence is? It's domestic violence is a violence which has been caused by the close relationships. It's not only the in-laws, the husband, the partner you love, you want to be with, but it can be anyone. It might be your parents, your elder sister, brothers, everyone. That is what the domestic violence is about. So your advocate has spoken, counselor ma'am has spoken, everyone. But what are the causes? Why it is caused? What creates that the domestic violence is there today everywhere? Like not in India, not in US, UK, everyone. We see that everywhere. Every 5 and 3 women are suffering domestic violence. There is, if you go and see the back record, there's a 20% increase in the domestic violence. The causes is here are the behavioral problem. You know, it's an environmental impact. The surrounding where we have grown. It might cause to alcoholism, the mentality, of course, everything. So that is what is causing domestic violence. Now, like ma'am said, it's a physical effect and a psychological effect. The physical effect, that is like hurting, getting beaten and all, can be cured, but the psychological stays forever. A woman who's gone through a domestic violence, her hurts, her bleed, everything can get at one time stop, but the psychological the abuse, the words she's been heard during the process of all this facing of domestic violence is never been gone. It's so in this all the legal what it supposes, the protection of women from a domestic violence act was been introduced on 26th October 2006 for the protection of a woman from this domestic violence. So what exactly do we get from this act? Why? And what are the benefits of this act? So here you get protection orders, monetary reliefs, custody, compensation, maintenance, and any other such relief which any civil court, a matrimonial court, or courts of the jurisdiction is given to you. But the most important part is that there are laws, there are acts, there are everyone, there are NGOs who are ready to help us. The point is awareness. There is no awareness available. People don't know that there is something known as domestic act also, so that you can go to the police and tell that you're the victim for the violence. So for that you need to speak up. You need the support. The support is really very important. That might be from your friend, your family, anyone. And the fear which every person have, okay, what will happen if I go to tomorrow police and say, okay, my husband is beating me? That fear needs to go out. If everything, it's not only that the husband is wrong. In fact, I would say it's the woman who suffers, who bears the domestic violence is also wrong, is equivalently wrong. So we cannot just say that he is bitten, you suffer. It's like saying that if you have taken that beat and you have not stand up for yourself, then even you are wrong. So please speak up. It has become like every house, if you go and see, there is someone or other who is suffering domestic violence. Everyone is going, but they do not come up. They don't speak up for themselves. So there are laws to protect to you. There are legal services. There are legal aids available to you. There are pro bono cases where lawyer takes your matters for free. But the point is, you need to be very, very strong to come up into the court and take all that trauma. It is very traumatizing proceedings. It's not that easy to stand up in the court and talk about your own people. But you need to have that guts, because any wrong is a wrong. So please speak up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Advocate Gargi. It was very perfect things that you actually highlighted, that yes, people should be aware and they should come up and they should speak. We see this violence happening in every individual houses, not just rich families, not just pure poor families. Like we say कि ये सब उनके घर में होता है. It is just a perception. It is there everywhere. It's just that it has not been come up. It has not been reported to us. And we as WICCI over here, I would like to tell about our organization, that we have some fantastic team here. Our council members, our vice president, our president, we are easily reachable, and we work for the same cause, awareness, getting people their rights, like how Advocate Omkar said, it is a human right thing that everybody should know what they really deserve. And like how our counselor ma'am said, that you really don't deserve to be there in that abusive relationship, whether that may be with anyone around us. You have the right to keep smiling. You have the right to be happy. You have rights to keep your point and live your life the way you want. It's just that by hurting someone physically, mentally, abusing anyone, you are just going to have a temporary hold over that particular person, but somewhere inside you will have that guilt feeling and you will never be happy. So that is it, that is the point that we highlight. That is the work that we do. We talk to people, we go, we have our members who actually go to the remote places, the areas, and we actually help victims not just come out legally but also mentally. We have fantastic supporters and counselors here in our team, and I would like to, this is a call out from our team to everyone who would like to share their stories with us. We are here to help. And coming up to the end of the program, I would love, and it is honored to have our president, Mrs. Rashmi Mishra here, to give a vote of thanks to all the guests that we have here today. And over to you, Rashmi ma'am. Is Rashmi ma'am there?
I think she's on mute. No worries. I think, Purva, we can take a few questions if anybody would like to ask anything. I think we have time, like 2-3 minutes, right?
Yes, we do have.
If anyone would like to ask something to advocates or counselor ma'am, anyone, they can ask in the chat box, or maybe they can speak up.
Thank you so much, Leena Deshpande, for your kind words. And we would like to have volunteers like you working with our organization come ahead. And there is so much to do. There is so much to work. There are so many people who need to be, enlightened about the process that we are doing. And we have council members all over Maharashtra. They are working for us, not just in Maharashtra, but all over India. They are there with us. So whatever cases that if you come across, we are here to help and happy to help, actually. Thank you so much.
Sure,
Anyone
sure.
have any questions about to our guests today? I think we've answered more or less all the questions, Akanksha. Yeah, so if you can just give a vote of thanks.
Just one question from my side.
Yes, please.
Since I am the faculty member of VIIT, Vishwakarma Institute,
yes.
So can we have some awareness? Can we introduce subject as a topic in our do you have any collaboration with educational institute where such awareness program, not just as a guest lecture or webinar, but they should be introduced as 1 or 2 topics, maybe in the audit course or maybe in some other supplementary courses for engineering colleges, where this awareness is really needed, and through education it can be percolated, I think.
Right. Yes, right, ma'am. Actually, you are absolutely right. And this should be a course module, is what you're trying to say, right? If I understand.
Right,
So we
right.
would definitely have a meet over this and a talk over this, that how can we inculcate this into our regular academics. But just to let you know that we do have collaborations and we do have events and sessions for many of the colleges, or not just colleges, as organizations who are there, the NGOs. We also have young girls who we train them, and we form a group of those girls or those and we also have male volunteers, like, and then they go ahead and then they highlight it to their particular areas, like we have sorted areas. So we have a team in different parts of India and different parts of Maharashtra. So this is how we train people, and this is how we have events, which is almost like twice a month or something. So definitely we would go ahead and collab with your college, or also would like to invite the volunteers from your side whom we can actually train, and they can go ahead and help the society likewise.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure, sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we can give yes, we can give contact details of our organization, and of course mine as well. And anything else who would like to come ahead and share their talk, or just ask any question.
This is Manjiri.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
Manjiri.
So
Good evening.
hi. So Purva, so thanks for inviting me to the call. A very quick introduction. So I am the founder of Maya Care, which is we work for the elderly and disabled in India. We're in 30 cities of India, and 90% of the women who work with us, we have 100 persons with disabilities who are working with us, and they are women. 90% of our people who
Right.
work, and
Right.
they're disabled, they're self-independent now, they're working on their own. And I had actually just a quick suggestion on the basis of what Leena Deshpande just asked, because I have in my career worked with a lot of women who reach a state where they are despite being educated, despite going to excellent engineering, medical colleges, excellent education. But
Mm-hmm.
the state of feeling helpless, feeling that you can't get out of the situation simply because you have taken a break from work at
Mm-hmm.
that time, and just don't have the confidence which you had when you were younger or
Correct.
when you were in college. So I think what Leena Deshpande suggested is one of the things which we could do, and I'd be happy to collaborate and work with you on
Sure.
that, is do a
Sure.
lecture series, if not a subject, do a lecture
Right.
series. How
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times women, they are very emotionally carried away while
Mm-hmm.
everything is going well, and say,
Correct.
okay, abhi to mujhe kaam karna hi nahi hai, I want to
Mm-hmm.
quit. And
Right.
when there is no need to quit, or where there is no need to say that, okay, I'll pick up this later. And that is the
Right.
root cause of everything, because and as a society also, we define our self-worth on how much money we are earning.
Correct.
And just
Correct.
because we are not earning at times doesn't mean that we're not contributing to a family, or nothing is
Definitely.
is happening. So these are the
Right.
things which in an engineering college where women are doing so well academically,
Mm-hmm.
when they enter, and especially when they enter the industry, you see that
Mm-hmm.
they will drop out after 5 years. A
Correct.
lot of women drop out after 10 years. Most women drop out, which is why you
Mm-hmm.
find so few women in senior leadership now. So these are the things. It's an ongoing, you don't have to reach a stage where you're in such a bad state that everything is emotionally collapsed. It's a
Correct.
preparation for life in general, that you have to take care of yourself in all ways. So
Correct.
that was a
Correct.
suggestion, Paulina.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Manjiri ma'am. And I think you are well up to the point that this is necessary, because at a certain level of point we have ourselves, there is a trust issue. We have people judging us all over, and because of the monetary things, the financial things, and we also have women have, like, we do have the power to handle everything. But there in our society we've been continuously judged over the same. ये नहीं कर पाई तो ये क्यों नहीं कर पाई, यहाँ कम पड़ गई, वहां ज्यादा हो गई. So you kind of have that baggage, and I think if we've been trained, अगर ये same चीज मुझे 15 साल पहले इतनी ट्रेनिंग होती तो शायद I wouldn't have gone through the mess that I went through. So it is It is absolutely the perfect point that you're talking about, that we need to educate the young girls, the young generation who are coming up with it, कि woman empowerment मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब आपको बहुत ज़्यादा you have to be something कि मैं ही कर सकती हूँ, वो ego में भी नहीं जाना चाहिए. It should be your self confidence, your self esteem, your dignity, your values should be embraced and intact with yourself, whatever age that may be. मतलब because you work with elderly people also, so उस point of time में जाकर भी I think there are women who still have don't have the confidence. मतलब घर कर लिया, बच्चा कर लिया, पूरा संसार कर लिया, but still they don't have that completeness within themselves. So I think you are absolutely right. They should be educated right at the correct age where they need to be. So thank you so much, Manjari ma'am, for joining us and highlighting these points to us. It was an honor having you. So Akanksha, is the Rashmi ma'am still?
I will be doing that. I will
Sure,
be doing
sure.
that.
So I would like to hand it over to our very beautiful and strong Vice President of WICCI, Ms. Akanksha.
No, we all are strong, and you are the strongest, I guess, because it takes a lot actually to come on such platform and share your own story. Hosting, doing shows, that's a different thing, right? We all prepare for it, but when we share our own story, which we have gone through, that takes a courage, and hats off to you for that. And you are a powerful woman, and thank you so much. You did a wonderful job here. And I would really like to thank each and every guest who have taken time here out, coming here for this cause. I know we all are professional. They all are professional. They charge hourly basis or, but for doing it for this cause, enlightening us all, and giving so much of insight what are our rights. So I'm really thankful to both our advocates, Manjari ma'am, our counselor ma'am. Thanks a lot for doing it, and the VIT students, they're doing a commendable job. Maybe we have started doing it at a certain age, but I'm really proud these girls, Prajakta, Siddhi, they are doing it at a very early age. They have understood the concept. I am sure that India has a bright future. They are really doing a wonderful job. These girls, they have formed a cell in the college. I wish we were also that aware when we were in the college. So yeah, thank you guys, and really more power to you, more power to each woman who are here present right now, who have joined this webinar today, taken out time. Yes, we all are there. I think VIT students do have our contact number. They have my number also. We at WICCI, yes, we are an anti-domestic counselor here, and we handle the chapter which is anti-domestic abuse Maharashtra, but we are there to help. If it is, if you're facing any issues, maybe at a workplace or college or anywhere, we are there to help. You can anytime approach us, right? I'm sure everybody has Purva's contact, my number, a lot of students. And yes, I'm looking forward for much such seminar, webinar, where we can just enlighten each other, have conversations, just throw some light on this topic and just help each other and grow together. Yeah, so thank you everybody for joining in. Thanks a lot, and thank you Purva for doing this. Thank you so much. You're wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining at WICCI today. I would like to just pay condolences to family of our own strong woman, Mrs. Lata Mangeshkar ji. We have lost the strongest female that we had over in India. And just to just an example of her setting example, that she was a single lady, brave lady, absolutely on her feet. She was there from pre-independence till today, and she's seen so many generations. So we have so many of such examples in India who are they've done commendable jobs. They've handled their families, they've handled themselves, they've handled their careers. So this is a shout out to all the beautiful and wonderful ladies out there, that yes, you are strong, yes, you can do it, yes, you can achieve it. This is just one step that you have to take for yourself, and I know that we are here for you, and I know that you can do it. So signing off for today, this is Purva Joshi here for WICCI. Take care and good evening all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Purva.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.